Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got an exciting blend for you guys today, so I'm going to go ahead and start my pour. You may be able to hear it in the background. Everybody's clapping and cheering and screaming. That is all for me. I'm just kidding. It's actually for the healthcare workers that have been holding it down during the quarantine. So this has been—I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's an incredible experience. We've been hearing it every night at 8 o'clock. Snea, welcome. And it's just so inspiring. Sarah, welcome. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this out. Hey, Ma, welcome. Tonight's blend is a seasonal blend that's a little different on how to purchase it, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But tonight we're doing Teaster Marshmallow because 'tis the season for Teaster. Ow, 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 hot. Woo! My tea rag was out of place. Alejandra, welcome. Yeah, I just burned my finger a little bit, but that's okay. Comes with the territory. When you're using a cast iron pot, yeah, you got to be careful. Okay, so tonight's blend is actually really, really good for kids. Rachel, welcome. Because on one side, oh, hey, Teresa, Izzy, welcome. So on one side, it's got no caffeine and it's really sweet. On the other side, it's kind of sugary, but that's okay. Oh, I missed you too. It's okay. I'm here every week, so you know where to find me when you can. So this week's blend has green rooibos, apple pieces, candy sprinkles, vanilla cream flavor, marigold flowers, and apricots. I tell you, this thing smells incredible. It's so sweet, so creamy. So I'm going to show you guys first what it looks like because this is a bit of an extraordinary tea. It's by Adagio. Adagio doesn't always use sweeteners in their blends, but in this case, it's got actual little sprinkles in there that are shaped like ducks and bunnies and eggs and stuff like that. So it's basically Lucky Charms in a teacup. But you can see like those the short brown leaves, that's the green rooibos. You have the big chunks of apple pieces, apricots, um, and the marigolds. Like you should see those longer yellow yellow petals. That's the marigold flower. Let me see. Am I missing anything else? Yeah, nothing that you can see with the naked eye because the only thing that's left is the cream flavoring. But yeah, as you can see, um, it's a really vibrant, really light and beautiful looking tea when it's dry, and when it's wet. So I mean, the only difference is like it's saturated. You see, like there's an expansion in the apples and the apricots. You see, like some of the marshmallow has mushed up, of course, because uh, it's been diluted a bit. But really, like there's not much of a difference with the leaves, because rooibos tends to not grow very much, um, because it's a naturally short leaf anyway, and you have the the marigolds, which doesn't open up either, because it's not really meant to. It's just dried and added. Um, I don't even think it's oxidized like at all. So you see, whoops. Why didn't you? Oh, there we go. Okay. So you see, there's not much of a difference between the dry and the saturated. Um, but that's not when it comes to rooibos. It's not a reflection of flavor. You know how when I talk about uh, the leaves as they expand, they let go of their flavor. This one, it's got nothing to do with the expansion. It's just going to give what flavor it has. Welcome, Greg. I see you just popped in. So, without further ado, because this is an incredible blend, it smells amazing. I can't wait. So, here we go. Oh, that is so nice. It's a lot of vanilla, a lot of vanilla, um, with a little bit. I mean, you get the sugary portion as well, and that's helping to bring out the sweetness of the vanilla. But there's also the sweet citrus flavor from the apricots. Is, in my opinion, right now the apricots are stronger than the apple, mainly because citric acid is stronger than the apples. I guess it's the same kind of acid, but it's not citric. I don't know. and I'm not good with apples, so. And yes, Greg, I did put down Final Fantasy VII. I am playing the remake currently, and it's a great game, but neither here nor there. So I'm smelling this, and it smells super duper sweet, and it tastes really really good because it already has um, the sprinkles in it. It does not need um, any sweetener at all. Sorry, my connection is spotty. It keeps kicking me out, and I want this purity tea. Oh, this purity tea. Well, there is a way to get it. It's currently available on Adagio.com right now, but it is a bit of a challenge to get to, only because you have to go on a bit of a scavenger hunt. So it kind of takes you, it gives you a clue as to where to find the next clue, and you follow the Easter eggs basically. I'm not going to give away any of the answers. I already did it earlier, but I don't want to like spoil it for anybody who wants to do it. And yeah, Rachel, it's really sweet. It's super creamy, and with the apple and the apricot in it, it's definitely good. Oh, so good. Oh yeah. So, um, it's right now. It is a seasonal tea, so you won't be able to um, get it very. Yeah, gamification is exactly it. They have to get their engagement up. Um, but yeah, like I have a lot of fun trying out my luck, trying to find the, well, I can't say really my luck, more like I try my skill at hunting down the right teas and doing it. I don't even, like, half the time I just go to the store, buy it myself, uh, but in this case I tend to do the challenge just to test my knowledge. But yeah, apricots is definitely, it's definitely prevalent. So you would love this tea. If this was still the case, I would just bring you a bag myself. But unfortunately, those days are over. Sad face. But you know, it's on to the next adventure. Oh, and there's really something I have to mention when it comes to rooibos in general. There is a bit of a grainy mouthfeel when you drink it. You feel it coat the tongue pretty well. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't mind it. I actually really enjoy rooibos most of the time. Um, I have only had one rooibos tea that I didn't like, and I think it was like a, I forget the name of it. Electra, welcome. So it was, yeah, rooibos, because rooibos is naturally sweet and it blends well with a lot of different things. So it's also nicknamed a red tea, because the leaf itself is orangey reddish, usually when it comes off of the bush. So it's pretty good. Green rooibos is not actually as you can see, it's not actually a reflection of the color, but rather the oxidation of it. So when rooibos is picked, it can be oxidized for a longer period of time, or left a little bit unoxidized, I guess. I don't know what the term is. Um, but Oh, excuse me. When that's the case, when it's less oxidized, they call it a green rooibos because a green tea is just less oxidized than a black tea. Um, but now I'm wondering if like there's a white rooibos. I need to ask about that because I'm sure there. I've never heard of a white rooibos, which I would imagine is basically just plucking the leaf off the bush and shipping it right away, packing it and shipping it, with very very little exposure to the sun or to heat or whatever method they use to oxidize. But I need to look into that. Now I just got my own not creativity. I got my own curiosity going. But, oh well. So I'm trying to do my tasting thing when I keep my mouth closed and breathe out through my nose. I'm only half successful because like literally seconds before I came on, I had this annoying sneeze fest that was just oof, it was awful. I kept sneezing and sneezing and sneezing. But yeah, so right now one of my nostrils is a little bit uh stuffed, but that's okay. Like I don't know where that came from. I was fine all day, but of course, right before I get on camera, it was like, whew, yeah, I could use a less invasive blessing than that. I do appreciate the sentiment though. Oh, so this is actually it's very creamy. Um, I'm getting kind of a almost a cake kind of flavor to it. There's this like a cake kind of texture. It's really soft, really velvety. If it's creamy, would I put milk into it? Um, that would be a little bit of a complex answer. Nicole, welcome. It would taste good with a milk or a creamer. The only thing I would be wary about is the apricot and the apple, only because citric acid tends to curdle milk, so it might not look very appetizing. It would be perfectly fine. I mean, it just means that the milk is more stringy, but when I mean some people just don't like how it looks. They think the milk goes bad. That's not it at all. It's just the way that it was done. It's just a chemical reaction. Curdled milk. I mean, yeah, it can be gross to look at, but it tastes fine to me anyway. Like I've never had a problem drinking it. I mean, if you curdle it enough, it's basically cheese. But whatever. Okay, now that I'm breathing a little bit better, I'm able to do my taste a little bit better. And when I do that, I get that. I think like the texture actually enhances more than the taste. Like I'm drinking it, I taste the same thing that I had before. Um, Second time around, it's more of an experience in texture. Like I'm re-feeling the mouthfeel, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, the color is beautiful. This is like a golden orangey. I can't even call it a bronze because bronze is generally darker than this, but this is very light, very beautiful, very clear. Like you could see my finger right through it. If not for the yeah, there you go. If not for the reflection of the phone, you could see my finger all the way through. It's very clear, um, but it's still got a very bold taste. It's very very what's the word I'm looking for? Like a very wholesome kind of taste. And this is why I would definitely recommend this for kids. It's very sweet. You don't have to add any extra sugar in it. Um, and you know it's not caffeinated, so it won't keep them hyped up and running around all over the place. Plus, it's really pretty to look at. So yeah, this is definitely a thanks. It's my Peter Tingle shirt. It's yeah. If you guys have seen Spider-Man, yeah, that's a reference to the movie. But whatever. The second one, Far From Home. One of my favorite lines is, "Don't call it the Peter Tingle." that's, oh, that's rich. Oh, okay. So, also, I would recommend this is the kind of tea that you can also put on ice. It's very citrusy, it's very sweet, and rooibos ices very, very well. You can leave it. What I used to do, I haven't done this in a while, but when I make an herbal tea as an iced tea, I use hot water. No, it does not have caffeine in it. Rooibos is caffeine free, and there's nothing in there that would add caffeine to it. So yeah, it's very kid friendly. But yeah, like you can. What I used to do is rooibos is actually not a tea. It's nicknamed a red tea, but it isn't. Oh no, it's okay. I know that you were really super excited about it. But no, rooibos is actually considered an herb. So it's not an actual tea. Anything that does not have Camellia sinensis in it is not considered a tea. So yeah, this is why it's kid friendly, because no caffeine, no. I mean, you get the sense of drinking a tea without the actual tea. So yeah, what I used to do, I keep losing my train of thought, was when I made an iced tea, when I would steep it for an hour. You do not want to do this in hot water, I should say, 212 degrees, only because it doesn't burn it. You'll get all of the flavor, and I would steep it for an hour, and it would come out immaculate. Like, that's the only tea, unless you're going a cold steep, that's the only time that I would do it for an hour. You can actually do it like an all day thing. What I used to do was keep it in hot water out for an hour, then leave all the tea and stuff in there, put it in the fridge overnight, go to work, come back, then take the thing out, and it was incredible. I loved it. And that's the kind of thing that you can do with herbs, with herbal blends. And yeah, it's like an alcohol-free beer, basically a root beer, or a ginger beer, where I had a discussion with the cashier at Mariano's. She had never heard of ginger beer before, so she's picked up the scanner, and she was like, "I'm gonna have to call a supervisor to sign it in so that you can buy this as an alcoholic purchase." I'm like, "There's no alcohol in ginger beer." She was like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah." She goes, "It's got beer in the title." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's just like root beer. There's no alcohol in it." So we went back and forth for about 5 minutes, and finally she was like, "Okay, so if I scan this right now, will it tell me to? Will it ask me to get an ID?" And I said, "No, it will not." And she went ahead, she scanned it, she was like, "Okay, you get away with it this time." I was like, "Yeah." Like, I knew it was not gonna set off no ID for no alcoholic things. Doggone it, I know what I'm drinking. But yeah, that's absolutely it. Like, it's an herbal blend. It's not a tea at all. Some people might call it a tisane. I don't know if there is a specific difference between an herbal blend and a tisane. Um, I think that they're both the same, but I do not speak French, so I believe tisane is a French term. Um, but yeah, so I don't think that there's a difference. It's just all herbs. But correct me if I'm wrong. I'm always open to interpretation. Okay, so questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, now's the time. I know, Teresa, you always ask the same question: what would I pair this tea with? Um, since it's very sweet, I would go with a lighter flavor. Something like a hmm. I mean, I try to mix it up. This is definitely a dessert tea, so I don't. If I were to pair this, yeah, I would go with a fruit, like strawberries. I mean, this is something like I would naturally pair this with a dessert, only because the sweetness complements each other. I'm trying to steer clear of that, only because it makes it more interesting to have a dessert tea paired up with a with an actual meal. So if I were to pair this with a meal, I would say maybe a salad, something very, very light, something airy, um, and also light dressing. What kind of chocolate would I pair this with? Well, I've always been a milk chocolate guy. Um, Milk and white chocolate, definitely. I don't think that this would go well with a dark chocolate because the bitterness um, might not the bitterness of it. I usually pair with a stronger flavored tea, so that it can counteract the strength of the dark chocolate. In this case, because the flavor is so light, I would keep it milk or white chocolate, no problem. Mm. Okay, so announcements. Uh, I do have I don't want to I don't want to bring up some bad news. So I don't want you guys to take this as bad news. But recently I did lose my job, and I'm taking this as a sign to concentrate more on my future. More of I want to work more on expanding the community. So I will now have some extra time to uh, come up with content for you guys. Um, I will try to be more engaging um, within the quarantine time. So this is I'm taking this as a mixed blessing. Um, I right now I'm feeling very positive. I'm feeling very focused that this is gonna take me to new places, and this is I'm taking this as the kick in the pants that I needed in order to get to where I'm going. So yeah, I don't want you guys to worry. I'm taking this as a blessing. Mm. Oh my god, that's so good. Like it's the sweetness after delivering the news that really that I mean it makes me more what's the word I'm looking for? Like it makes me happier, you know. So that being said, I'm going to uh, I'm thinking about more frequently doing online tea parties. Right now, I'm working with a nonprofit organization, um, Gilda's Club. We are arranging a tea party just for them. Um, I have volunteered with them many times, and they are incredible people. And I'm hoping that this won't be the last time that we actually have an online tea party. I've already expressed interest in continuing to work with them and volunteer with them because I completely believe in what they do and I support them 100%. So they are incredible people, and if you've never heard of Gilda's Club, big shout out to them. What they do is They are a cancer support center for people who um, they have patients, they have family, they have friends, anybody who has had cancer affect their lives at any point, um, whether they're currently going through it or something that. Thank you. That's perfect. um, Whether they're going uh, through chemo, they do a lot of support. They have a lot of activities, and it's all free. They have volunteers come in, teach yoga classes, art classes. Usually, when I volunteer there, we make breakfast for the new members. Um, and, it's a huge spread. We have like pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage, bagels, English muffins. Like it's a huge thing, and I mean, you guys have, if you are friends on my personal page, you guys have probably seen the photos here and there. Um, but yeah, they are an incredible group, and I look forward to continuing my relationship with them and volunteering, and they're wonderful. So shout out to them. Um, and I will have some news about that on something else that I've been working on with them with. So I'll talk about that later when the time comes. Uh, what else? What else? I don't think I have any more. Um, I don't think I have any more announcements. So, questions and comments once again. Talk to me. Now's the time. I have a couple sips left. Uh, what's the tea next week? Good question. I do have one in mind that I'm thinking of that's still uh, in the same vein as Easter. Now I use Easter because this weekend is Easter Sunday, but the tea itself is more rabbit related. I did get another brand of carrot cake uh, flavored tea, which I have not tried yet. The one that I did last time, it was years ago, was carrot cake flavored tea from David's. This one is going to be from Adagio, and we'll see how they compare. But generally, I don't know what I do. Yeah, well, I mean, like I try to be as equal with all vendors as I can, and give my honest opinion. And my honest opinion of David's is it's like the fast food of tea. Like it's not the healthiest. It's not the most serious tea. It's it's a good for your tastes kind of tea, you know? So, I mean, I don't want to talk too badly about David's because they're not terrible. They're just not my cuppa, you know? Um, it's just, yeah, like I can't really fault them too much. It's just not my go-to. But definitely, there's going to be a huge difference between their carrot cake tea and Adagio's tea. So once I'm drinking it, I'll be able to find out where the differences are, because I do remember quite vividly David's tea's David's tea's version of the carrot cake, which I mean it tastes good. It's just unauthentic, if that makes sense. And they just put a lot of stuff in it. But enough about that. Questions and comments. I have like maybe two left. Hmm. Who cut my hair? Do you really want me to talk about my hair? Because yeah, I think I will just I'm not gonna give you guys the full tour, but you, my dear, cut my hair, and I have to say this is the most interesting look I've had in quite some time. I'll leave it at that because at some point I have to sleep. So I will say, you, my dear, cut my hair. Mm. But hey, if I say so myself, I'm rocking this dude. I'm rocking it. Okay, so I have one last sip left. Um, so here's your last chance. You can, I try to make it fun, yeah. So questions, comments. Now is your last chance, or forever hold your peace. Hmm. Oh, really, really good. So, thank you guys. Oh, before I go, a dad joke. A dad joke on tea. All right. Are you gonna tell me a dad joke on tea, or do I have to make up one on the spot? Because, like, I have to know where this is going before I have to tell it. I have to tell a dad joke about tea. Um, now you really put me on the spot here. Uh, what do you do? What do you do if tea looks mean? You leave it alone. Right on the spot. Got it. Nailed it. All right. Anyway, have a great night, you guys. I will see you later. In the meantime, have a great weekend, a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.